on social media. Thanks, Finola, for tuning in. And yes, here I am. So, hi, Eva. Thanks so much. Okay, so I don't really know how this works. I'm just going to talk. This is going to be the first in a series of videos I'm going to call LucyDesigns for Growth. And I'm going to talk about everything from getting started with a website to launching a course or a membership, branding, all the good stuff to do with getting online and making the most of your online presence. So given that it's my first video, I'm going to talk about today about the thing that is closest to my heart, which is Squarespace. As many of you know, I'm a Squarespace and Kajabi web designer, but I've been working with Squarespace websites for about 5 years now. So I just love that platform, and yeah, it's been great for my business and great for my clients. So I'm going to go through some of the most frequently asked questions that I get about Squarespace. So first of all, you might be asking, well, what is Squarespace? So it's a content management system or a web platform that allows you to build a really nice website. It's a web-based platform. The company is Squarespace. They're based in New York, and you pay them an annual subscription. So you own your content, but they basically own the template, if you like, or the design of your website. So you pay an annual fee, but you get to create a really beautiful website and do an awful lot more. So what are the other questions I get? So first one often is, well, will my website look good on mobile? Yes, all Squarespace websites look fantastic on mobile. Sometimes there's a little bit of code that you might want to use to make things look just absolutely perfect on a mobile phone, but usually from the get-go, your website will look super on mobile, which is really important because Google will only rank websites that are mobile friendly. So that's really important. Are Squarespace websites secure? Yes, all Squarespace websites come with an SSL cert, which means that your website is secure. And again, that's really important for SEO because Google will not rank websites that are not secure. So you don't need to get an SSL cert through your web host. It comes with your Squarespace subscription, and things like your customers' credit card details, all that is super safe and super secure. So you don't have to worry about anything from that perspective. What else? So can Squarespace host my domain is a question I get. So if you have a .com domain, you can get that through Squarespace. You do pay for it, but you can get that through the platform. If you're an Irish business, or maybe you're operating in the EU and you would like a .ie or a .fr website domain, you do need to get that through a domain host. So in Ireland, for example, I would recommend Black Knight or Let's Host. There's a myriad of hosting companies out there. So if you want a .ie, you do need to get that with your domain host provider, but you just need to pay for the domain. You don't need to pay for actual site hosting in a way that you would, for example, if you had a WordPress website. So you pay Squarespace to host your site, but if you want a .ie domain, you get that with your local hosting company, and then we point that domain to the Squarespace website. So if you want a .com, however, you can get it through Squarespace. So what else do I get asked? So what theme or what template should I use in Squarespace is a common one. So up until about 12 months ago, Squarespace did have families of themes or templates. Themes is more associated with WordPress, I think, than Squarespace. They had families of templates, and based on your objectives for the functionality of your website, you would choose a family of templates. So if you've had your website for a few years now, you'll be familiar with names like Brine and Montauk and Haydn and Fiverr and all these different template names. Since about this time last year, Squarespace has upgraded to Squarespace 7.1, where they actually only have one template now. So even if you go on to squarespace.com and you see all these lovely different layouts, you think they're all, and they give them names, you might think that they're actually all different templates. They're actually all the one template. They're just giving you different possibilities for layout as inspiration, but all the templates have exactly the same functionalities. Previously, some templates did some things or allowed you to have certain layouts, and other ones had different functionalities. Now across the board, no matter where you go on Squarespace 7.1, it's the same template, so there's no picking, which has made things a little bit easier even though some people still get a bit confused. But so if you go onto the website and have a look, they're all the same they're all the same template. Another question is Squarespace good for SEO? So there used to be a little bit of snobbery a few years ago between WordPress people and Squarespace people, and the WordPress people used to say, well, you don't have Yoast, which is this famous SEO plugin for WordPress websites. Whereas in fact Yoast is actually just a kind of a checklist of things, of SEO actions that you need to take on your website, and obviously you can take those actions on your Squarespace website as well. In fact, Squarespace makes it super easy. So obviously there are things that you need to know, like proper naming of your images before you upload them, things like that. But each page, each blog post, each product on Squarespace has its own section for putting in your SEO settings. So page titles, page descriptions. It makes it super easy for you. So, and of course SEO is so broad, such a broad topic, that it's not just your on-site SEO tactics or things that you might complete on your website. That alone is not going to put you on page 1 of Google. There's a myriad of other things that you need to think about so that you will rank highly. So it's not the platform that you're on. I'm not saying Squarespace is better than WordPress or whatever. It's actually, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. I would say it's all the other activities that you do around your digital marketing that will determine whether you rank highly or not on Google. So is Squarespace good for SEO? Yes, absolutely, if you know what you're doing. What else? People ask me, can you customize your Squarespace website? People say, well, sometimes they all look a bit the same. And so sure, if you go into Squarespace and you take one of the layouts that they give you and you just plonk in your images and your text, well, yeah, it will look an awful lot like the template, which is one of the reasons why sometimes it's better to work with a designer who can sort of take the template but then mold it to really match your branding, your messaging, and so on. And obviously there's custom code that we can use. There are plugins available for Squarespace. It means that we can basically just start from scratch. And I, if you were going to start your website yourself and do a DIY website, I would sort of say, and you don't want it to look like a template, well then don't use the templates. You can start with blank pages in Squarespace and you can sort of build your site whichever way you see fit. Sometimes with DIY websites, the problems start to creep in when maybe your use of typography is not exactly on point, or I see with people who've come to me who've done their own Squarespace website and now they want to level up. It's because they know it just doesn't look quite as professional as it could and doesn't represent their expertise, their know-how, and so on. And it's because things like positioning of text and images on the page, that's where we designers come into our own and can make your website stand out and work for your business. What else? If you're thinking of switching to Squarespace from another platform, Wix or WordPress, you might be wondering, are you going to lose some of your Google rankings? So to avoid that, again, these are the things that designers know about. For example, I would always make it, the first thing we do is note all your existing page URLs. So that's the address of each page on your website. And we either replicate that on the new website, on the new platform, or we do what we call URL mapping, which is where we take the original URL and we basically say to the search engines, if somebody lands on this old URL, please direct them to this new one, because sometimes when you build a new website anyway, you reorganize your content. So by replicating or redirecting your URLs, we manage to maintain your Google ranking generally. I mean, obviously, if your new website is suddenly full of like really massive images that are going to slow down your website, well, that might have an impact on your Google ranking. Like the Google ranking thing is just, it's really, there's not like 10 boxes that you could tick to absolutely guarantee that your site will maintain the same ranking as it did 6 months ago. But switching to a new platform should not have an impact on that. And if anything, you'll have tidied up your old URLs. again, I get a lot of people coming to me with existing websites, and I see that they've been creating new pages, whatever, and they're not paying proper attention to the URL. So you might see, mydomain.com/new -page-1 or something like that. So we tidy all that up on a new website. So sometimes just moving platform is actually an opportunity to fix all of that kind of tree. What else? Is Squarespace easy to update? So yes, I mean, the reason I use Squarespace and I recommend it to my customers is that it's super intuitive, well-designed platform. It's really hard to go wrong. Now, for some people who are complete technophobes, they don't, they might still find it difficult, but I train all my clients how to manage their websites themselves, and most of the time they manage perfectly well, because it is a very intuitive system. It's a drag and drop system, and also it's what you see is what you get system. So if you make a change on the page or you move something around, well, you see the change right there in front of your eyes. You don't need to reload the page or anything like that. So I just think that your website, as your number one marketing tool, it's sort of too important to leave to somebody else to manage for you. So with Squarespace and a little bit of help from somebody like me, you can manage it yourself, upload your blogs, new products if you're selling physical products or digital products. They have an inbuilt email app as well. E-commerce, as I mentioned, super versatile and robust. They now have a member area. I mean, they're bringing out new functionalities all the time, which is making it a more and more rounded platform. But as I say, at the heart of it is good design and easy to use functionalities. I mean, really what they want is people building their own websites, which as designers are not too happy about, but I still think there's a place for people like me who can also advise you on content strategy and positioning and messaging and calls to action and all the other stuff that I'll be talking about in future videos. So I think there was a question. Finola was asking me, does Squarespace own your website? No, you own your content, but they own the layout. So it's not like WordPress where you could download your CSS files and basically just take your entire website and put it somewhere else. With Squarespace, you can by all means export your content, so your images and your written content, but the framework itself is theirs. So if you stop paying your monthly or annual subscription, you don't have a website. You have your content, but that's it. In terms of cost, they have 4 different plans, Squarespace. The most basic plan is what they call their personal plan, which starts at about €130 off the top of my head per annum. Now I tend to recommend the next plan up to most of my clients because there's a few things that you don't get with the personal plan. So the next one up is the business plan, and that comes in about €234 per annum, including VAT. Now there are all sorts of discount codes all across the internet getting you 10% off. If you work with me, I get you 20% off on year one. And then the next one up is commerce, and then there's commerce advanced. So as I say, most of my clients start on the business plan. Now there is a transaction fee. So if you're selling anything through the website, there is a transaction fee on the business plan of 3%, plus your Stripe or PayPal fees. And then the next plan up, which is the commerce plan, there's no transaction fees. So I tend to say to my clients, well, wait until your transaction fees hit the difference. So the commerce plan, the commerce basic plan is about €80 more than the business plan. So I say to my clients, well, once your commissions start exceeding that €80, well, at that point you can upgrade to the commerce basic. But until then, start on the business plan. Their member areas functionality, which came out about 8 months ago, that has a separate pricing model, which I don't know all the details off the top of my head, but I know it starts at 7%, which sounds huge, and then the commission goes down based on the number of transactions. So you actually, if you are selling membership or an online course and you want people to be able to have their own logins, you do need to sort of work out based on the price of your course, how many transactions there are going to be, which plan is the best one. So anyway, I won't go into all that today. Finola, is it automatically backed up? Well, yes, I mean the sites are backed up on the Squarespace servers daily, but again, you can't download the entire website. So you are relying on the Squarespace servers, which, you know, I don't know, I'm happy to trust them. But if security of your content was a big thing, well, that might be a reason to go with WordPress. But frankly, Squarespace have, I don't know how many millions of users across the world, and have their engineers working 24/7 keeping their servers up and running. But it's not the same as WordPress, where you can actually download your entire website framework and all. So that's the content management, the web-based content management systems work a little bit differently. So let me see, has anybody any other questions? Who's still on? Is anybody still on? I have 3 people. Oh, thanks, Finola. So when is Squarespace not the right platform for you to use? So, gosh, I don't know. I mean, okay, so WordPress obviously has its place for much bigger companies, or if you have a massive database in the back end, or sometimes there's specific widgets or layouts even that you want. And obviously WordPress, there's being open source, there's a gazillion different plugins and widgets out there that you can incorporate into your website. For your average small business owner, though, I would like to think that Squarespace does tick all the boxes. From an e-commerce perspective, we talk about Kajabi in a second. From an e-commerce perspective, the new 7.1 Squarespace, now you can sell, I think, up to 10,000 products, whereas previously it was more, I would say to clients, if you're selling more than 250 products, go to Shopify. Shopify obviously is amazing if you're selling physical products, but I do think it's pretty limited in terms of other functionality. So, blogging, content creation, email marketing, member areas, things like that. Shopify is really focused on selling physical goods, and it does it really, really well. Kajabi, obviously, if you're selling online courses, is like the Rolls Royce of learning management systems. Again, I'll talk about that in another video. If you just wanted a website, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, use Kajabi, they have an amazing website builder. If you want to use a website to sell courses, yes, absolutely. I mean, as website builders goes, it's really good compared to some of the other learning management systems who say that you can build a website. No, I would say if you were going with Thinkific or Teachable or Podia, for example, I would say, well, keep your website elsewhere and then use them for your actual course content. With Kajabi, the website builder is robust enough that you can have a really good looking website there. So if you're a course creator, launching a membership or anything like that, and you're looking at an LMS and also thinking, yeah, my website's not looking great either, what should I do? If you're thinking of restarting your website, I would go do it all in Kajabi so that you have everything under the one roof. I just think even in terms of a learning curve for you, you've only got one platform to learn how to use. When you have your website on one place and your content, your course content on a third-party LMS, and then maybe an email marketing somewhere else, you've got a lot of platforms to manage, and sometimes the tech can get a little bit overwhelming. I mean, what you really want to be doing is selling your courses. So with Kajabi, you've got everything in one place. So that's really cool. Anything else? I only got 3 people. Oh, dear me. Anyway, maybe I'll stop. Yeah, thanks, Finola. Okay, so thanks so much for your attention. I'm going to try and put this on LinkedIn as well, and on YouTube and what have you. So anyway, if you're watching this on replay and you want to get in touch, if you want to pick my brains, if you have any questions about Squarespace, Kajabi, getting started online, branding, all that type of thing, just get in touch and I'd be happy to set up a call and answer any of your questions. Okay, thanks a mil. Bye.